what's happening to our country, whether it's the borders or the elections or kinds of things like this, where the DOJ has become a weapon for the Democrats, an absolute weapon. And it seems that every time my polls, you know, we're leading by a lot. And we're leading by a lot in a place called Iowa, a lot. And not only with the Republicans, but we're leading against Biden by a tremendous amount. They haven't seen anything like it. And they feel, I guess, they want to try and demean and diminish and frighten people, but they don't frighten us because we're going to make America great again. That's all there is. We're going to make our country, Sean, is a mess. You know it better than anybody. I mean, frankly, your reporting is incredible.
I'll be honest, I have never been more fearful of the state of this country than I am right now.
Yeah.
Fearful about the economy, foreign policy, our future, our kids, our grandkids. I've never been this way.
Well, you look at Biden with these leaders, and they're at the top of their game, and they're looking at each other like they don't even believe what's happening. Our country is no longer respected. Think of it. 3 years ago, energy independent, powerful military that was totally rebuilt. The president announced 3 days ago, which he should never have said, probably classified information, that we have no ammunition. Now, what do you think China says when they hear we have no ammunition? No, it's a very, very sad thing. If you look at the worst border in history, we had the best border in history. We had 3 years ago the best border we've ever had. We built hundreds of miles of wall. We got Mexico free of charge. You know, they say about Mexico. Mexico gave us billions of dollars worth of soldiers for years, 28,000 soldiers guarding our border. We had the best numbers we've ever had. Today we have, I think, the worst numbers in the world, because I don't think there's any country in the world that would stand for what's happening to us, with millions of people flowing in from, by the way, mental institutions, insane asylums. They don't like me using those names, insane asylums. But we have very bad, very sick people, very ill people coming into our country, prisons and jails all over the world. And it's not the 4 countries that we sort of consider neighbors. It's all over. Last week, we had 129 countries, representatives of people that came into our country illegally. And we're losing our country, and we're losing the spirit of our country. But I will tell you, make America great again, and MAGA, and America first, and all of these things that we talk about, there's never been more spirit. Look at this crowd. There's never been more spirit than we have right now. 2024. 2024 is the most important election that we've ever had. And I used to say it with 2016, and I meant it 100%, but we're going into almost a communistic state, and I think maybe we're even there. When you look at what they're doing with, you could call it fascist, you could call it Marxist, you could call it communist. What they're doing, like with the Department of Justice, they've totally weaponized it. It's weaponized like we've never had this before. It's not only me. Catholics, you see what's happening? Parents at school boards, they're being harassed by the Justice Department, by the FBI. Nobody's ever seen what's happening right now. And we have a guy, the head of this country. It's probably not him, it's people around him. They have people that are vicious and smart and have horrible ideas for our country. So it's really the people, in my opinion, because I don't think this guy can put together 2 sentences. I watched him last night. He's almost incapable of talking. And, you know, we have...
I'm not sure he knows today's Tuesday, sir.
Well, we have a problem. We have the potential of a war beyond the war with Russia and Ukraine, and that would have never happened before. By the way, if I were president, that would have never happened. If I were president, Ukraine and Russia.
I want to get to that. You know, I came here today, and I watched your 2 hours with Mark Levin. I watched your hour with Tucker. I watched your hour with Bret Baier. You did 2 hours with me. I watched you on Maria. I watch your interviews. And on Fake News CNN, I watched that too.
Well, that was a good one. That was a good one. They had a town hall.
That was a Trump
They
classic.
ended up firing the head of CNN. And they got the highest ratings in 11 years, and they fired. It's supposed to be the opposite.
By the way, you might want to start a show, and at the end of every show, say to somebody, you're fired. That would work, right?
You're fired.
All right. But I wanted to talk about the problems and the solutions. In other words, identify the problems and the solutions.
Okay.
We cannot ignore today's events, today when you put out your Truth Social post. And by that, I want to talk about what is clearly now what the Judiciary Committee under Jim Jordan is looking into, whether or not our FBI and our Department of Justice have been weaponized and politicized. And I have two headlines here. You know, FBI tipped off Biden team, Secret Service, about plan to interview Hunter, according to a supervisory agent who retired. Tomorrow, there will be another IRS whistleblower, just like this man, Mr. Chapley, who came out and said, no, he should have been indicted on felony charges, and I've been doing this, meaning Hunter Biden. Then I can take you back, and you know that I covered this every single night, and my show was vindicated on the issue of Trump-Russia collusion that never occurred. The Durham report corroborated it, the Horowitz report. It's a long way of me asking this very simple, basic question, and that is, if you look at Hillary Clinton and the way she was treated, no prosecutor would prosecute, 33,000 subpoenaed emails deleted, devices destroyed. Then her dirty dossier, and that dossier was used to get 4 FISA warrants. And then you look at the FBI in 2019. They had Hunter Biden's laptop in December of 2019. They verified it in March of 2020. And yet FBI agents in the months leading up to that election were meeting with big tech companies, telling them, according to Yoel Roth, the former Twitter integrity site head, telling them that it might be about Joe or Hunter. That laptop story got censored. The American people were denied the truth about what would be a bombshell story.
And by the way, it still is censored because they haven't really gotten into the meat with all of the great reporting done, and there has been some great reporting done. Generally speaking, the press is fake. It's fake, and it's just horrible, actually. But there's still been some great reporters and great reporting done, and you are at the lead. You've been incredible. But when you look, but Sean, when you look at that, they haven't even gotten to the bottom of the laptop. They don't want to put the pictures in. They don't want to. They have pictures in there that anybody else, they go away for 10 years. What happened to Hunter is he got a traffic ticket. Other people are being sentenced to many years in jail for doing much less. He got a traffic ticket. The only good thing is the people know it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer, these guys are doing a great job, but the problem is you find out the crime, but nothing happens with it. Instead, they go after you.
Like, for example, Hillary Clinton's home wasn't raided. Joe Biden's garage wasn't raided. The UPenn Center wasn't raided. The University of Delaware wasn't raided. His home, beach home, I don't know how he affords a beach home on a senator's salary, that wasn't raided. Hunter Biden was being protected, obviously. Cocaine in the White House, 10-day investigation. They literally interviewed nobody. Okay, investigation's over. Would that have happened in your White House?
Well, listen to this. Even you mentioned the beach home. Well, the beach home had all these documents in it, right? It was by the Corvette. They're on the floor, classified documents.
No, that's not the beach home. The beach home was another place they found.
No, this is also the beach home. And they had the Corvette, where they had the Corvette. Yeah. And a tremendous amount of payment was made for that home by somebody to Joe Biden. And it was a big story for about one day, and then you don't hear about it anymore. It's incredible. But when you look at the documents all over the place, whatever happened to that one? They go after me on documents, and I have the Presidential Records Act, which is a big deal. And the Presidential Records Act is an act. Thank you.
Why weren't their homes raided?
They know better than anybody else.
Why weren't their homes raided?
Well, let me just tell you, I'm protected by Presidential Records Act, and they come up with this obscure, crazy theory, a madman theory. This guy is a deranged prosecutor who's had tremendous failures all over the place. He's a nasty, horrible human being. They come after me. Now, Biden has many thousands. I mean, he's got 2,000, almost 2,000 boxes of documents. They can't get to him because the college or whatever that has them doesn't want to give them. And he probably told the college. But more importantly, China gives millions of dollars to UPenn. That's where he has some. He's got them all over the place. And maybe worst of all, he's got documents in Chinatown. Many, many documents, boxes of documents. You don't ever hear about this. All you hear about is Trump. And I'm totally covered by the Presidential Records.